Welcome to Hot Takes and Beer Breaks.
We were over intoxicated and underinformed.
We're just three dudes talking news and drinking booze.
I'm John.
I'm Jason.
And I'm Justin.
So I have to apologize this week. I used a term that I did not know was offensive. I used the term off the reservation, which I guess is, or not but it is offensive to Native Americans, and I didn't mean it to be. I just always used it as a term as like, you're going crazy. So
you live and you learn.
Yeah. So, learning, progressing. I didn't even remember using it, but one of our listeners emailed in and let us know, hey, use this term and just let us know the history of it. So thank you for emailing in. Always love good commentary and constructive criticism. That's awesome to hear. So
I'd like to give a shout out to happy National Cheerleading Week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's give a round of applause. Let's give it an A. Hey, give it a B.
That faded out very quickly. Is there anything you want to say on the matter?
So I want to talk about how cheerleading is not a sport.
Interesting.
Please tell us.
We're coming in hot with this one. Hot.
Yeah.
So turns out a more naive me would have considered cheerleading not a sport because of what they do. They cheer, but that is not true. So apparently there's a huge conspiracy. I saw this a while ago after watching that cheer thing on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about cheerleading. And at the very end of the cheerleading thing, there's like, we were not able to record the end thing due to the Varsity Sports LLC guidelines, yada, yada, yada. So it turns out the reason that cheerleading is not a nationally recognized sport and all that, it is in different regions, possibly a thing. But because it's not a national recognized sport, like a high school or all that, it's because there's a monopoly because of this Varsity LLC thing, this company.
Okay.
By having a monopoly, they control all the shit with like competitions, the gear, all the other things. That's why it's so expensive to get into. And it's kept as like a club or a recreational thing, so they don't have to deal with a lot more regulations.
Basically, like
that's very interesting.
That is interesting.
It's fucked up.
All right.
So happy National Cheerleading Week to all the people who actually cheer and screw Varsity Sports LLC.
Cool. I think that kind of goes into, you're going to be shitting on happy thoughts today, Justin.
I shit on everything.
All right. Well, let's start by celebrating.
I'm cheering on the cheerleaders who actually do the sport.
Okay.
Or not sport, but should be a sport.
Twisting it around. I got you.
I'm a good sport.
Oh, you're cheerleading.
Yeah, I'm a big cheerleader.
Okay. Well, let's also celebrate some incredible people. Let's start off with Aaron Rodgers. He donated $1 million to 9 small businesses in his hometown of California. Chadwick Boseman, he won Best Actor at the Golden Globes. His wife accepted on his behalf. Mm-hmm. And it was a very emotional speech. It was very good. Very heartfelt. I think a lot of tears in the eyes that day.
Good.
We also have...
Good on him for his final role.
Yeah, it was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom on Netflix. Now you could go check it out. I watched the trailer. It looked really good, and a lot of the comments were Chadwick's performance like blew me away. He was the reason I watched this and was there. So I think it's well deserved.
I'm curious because he's a really good actor, or was a really good actor, but like. I wonder if he like felt his own mortality and like just dumped all of it into this final role. I'm curious. We'll reach back when we watch the movie because it is on Netflix, so we can watch it.
Yeah,
and we'll see how good he like killed it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always
not killed it.
Yeah, that was bad phrasing, but that's okay. We'll move past it. No, I mean, I've always got the sense that Chadwick Boseman in all his roles has really put everything forward. You know what I mean?
The man was Jackie Robinson and James Brown.
Yeah.
And Black Panther.
He's such a talented actor.
So many iconic roles.
He really deserved it. So I think maybe some people might say some other people deserved it more than him, but because of his passing, I think everyone probably agree that he probably deserved to be recognized for his accomplishments, whether or not, so just.
Well, not even that. It's just based on his previous movies. Like, he is a good actor, so I could see him putting out a award-winning caliber performance.
Yeah, it's not like some mediocre actor passed away and we decided to recognize. It's a great actor, unfortunately passed away, and we're recognizing his greatness.
Agreed.
Let's talk about Jonah Hill, though, because I'm excited to talk about Jonah Hill. So he got his photo taken. He was surfing, and they were like, it was the Daily Mail, and they were basically posting photos of like, oh, Jonah Hill surfing and stuff like this. And Jonah Hill had a comment on Instagram. He took the headline and said, I don't think I ever took my shirt off in a pool until I was in my mid-30s, even in front of my family and friends. Probably would have happened sooner if my childhood insecurities weren't exacerbated by years. This is why I make you do it, Jason. By years of public mockery about my body by press and interviews. So the idea that media tries to play me by stalking me while surfing and printing photos like this, it can't faze me anymore, is dope. I'm 37 and finally love and accept myself. This isn't good for me post. It's definitely not a feel bad for me post. It's not. It's for the kids who don't take their shirts off at the pool. Have fun. You're wonderful and awesome and perfect. All my love. In the Daily Mail, not even you could take the smile from my face, which is awesome. You know.
Well, you ever watch the interviews with like Jonah Hill?
What's that?
Like just any of the interviews. They always ask him just stupid, dumb questions.
Like about his body and everything?
But about his body, like there's just ones like instead of like for a role he like was practicing for and doing, he gets asked questions like, oh, are you still typecast as a fat kid? Do something to you about being a fat kid? Meanwhile, he like just got nominated for an Oscar or something prior to this interview or something. And it's like when they ask women like, hey, so I think of the Scarlett Johansson situation where it's like, oh, how'd you fit into this costume?
It's wildly inappropriate. I think it happens to women a lot more, but it does happen to men too. And have you guys ever faced any insecurities about your body or like anything like that where you were like, oh, I don't feel comfortable in my own skin?
I mean, I was told I had a big ass head when I was a little kid.
Did that affect you in any way?
No, because I had a big brain.
Dang. Jason, what about you?
I cried myself to sleep.
No, not that I can think of.
I actually, my entire life, I actually faced a lot of like insecurities about myself. Not to the level of Jonah Hill, but I was always very small growing up, and I still am. And I try to like laugh it off, but like I still face insecurities about myself where I'm like, do I feel comfortable wearing certain clothing or stuff like that? Do I look weird? You know what I mean? Like there's certain things like that. So I can sympathize with what Jonah Hill's, not because it's unfortunate that he can't take his shirt off in public, but
yeah, I
never really, because I was always skinny, but like I was like, I felt weird. So I think a lot of people go through this, men and women especially. So.
Yeah, it would be like if you were in a movie when you were younger and you were just known as the skinny kid.
Yeah.
Like, hey, are you doing another skinny role? Like,
yeah,
hey,
exactly.
Skinny guy.
Like, are you going to do it? I remember I had a story. So before we started doing all this and when I was in college, I wanted to be a police officer. Right. So my freshman year, I had to go to like do a physical and I walked into the nurse and the nurse was like, oh, like, what are you going to college for? Because it was my daily checkup. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try and be a police officer.
Daily checkup?
No, sorry. Like yearly checkup.
Were you okay in college?
Apparently not.
Oh.
So my yearly checkup. So she was just like, hey, like, what are you going to do? I was like, oh, I want to be a cop. She's like, really? You're very small to try. And it was just like, oh, okay. Like,
damn.
I was like, I have a few more years to like kind of like work out. But it always, it was like some of the criticism I face. So I can understand where he's coming from. I think like a lot of people probably go through that. So that's good to hear that he feels comfortable about himself, that he's loving himself no matter what. That's just what you want to hear, right?
Good on him.
Another good story. So an Israel bar is giving out free drinks at a bar if you get a vaccine. I had the idea, shot for shot. Pretty good, right?
And you've been listening to Hot Takes and Beer.
And that's the end of this podcast forever. Thank you for listening.
That's not a good name. You're getting a shot and getting a shot.
Well, what does alcohol do? Does it increase your blood pressure or lower it?
I believe it increases it.
It's a blood thinner. I don't know. Is that a good thing?
Yes.
Like, should you be drinking?
Well, maybe you don't get the shot right away. Maybe you get like a coupon that you can come back later.
I mean, maybe that's a thing, but like, it's so random at bar. Casinos make sense.
Yeah, those make sense.
But we're gonna talk about this later.
Do you get free pretzels?
Some free at a bar?
Yeah, like some peanuts.
Oh.
A little bowl of peanuts.
No, this is not what you think. The drinks they're giving are non-alcoholic drinks.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you read the next 3 lines of the article, it says these drinks being offered were non-alcoholic, though, as a medical precaution.
Ridiculous.
I mean,
Ridiculous.
makes
What?
sense.
I had the genius idea.
I like your coupon idea. That makes more sense.
That makes a lot of more sense, right?
Here's an apple juice.
Yeah, that's a little. That's basically just going to the nurse's office then.
Yeah, here, drink this water.
Yeah, they're literally just
My
using
arm's
it
broken.
as a place to get shots.
Well, this took a turn for the worst.
Ugh, this day sucks.
Well, that's taking a turn into the worst. I want to talk about some bad people because we talked about, I guess, some.
Well, hold on. If the Israel bar isn't going to give us a drink, we might as well have one ourselves.
Oh, you want to
That's
talk
fair.
about victory? We are drinking. Wait, why don't you talk about it? Because you brought it this week.
You just always have me talk about beer because you can never figure out the name of it.
It's on the can, John.
The Cosmic Connection,
There you go.
8%.
Yeah.
It's got
New
more than
England
just
IPA?
that, John.
What's up?
It's a dipper.
It's a sour New England style dippa, to be exact.
New England style dipper.
What do you think? How many beer breaks would you give it, Jason?
I refuse to ever indulge in this nonsense rating scale.
How
Yeah,
many cosmic connections would you give it? 1 out of 32.
Where'd you get 32 from?
Shh.
Okay.
I mean, it's a good sour. It's not bad. It's not bad. Say 20, 21 cosmic connections.
21 beers out of breaks.
Got him again.
Got him. You been bamboozled.
Justin, what do you think about it?
Did you say a boot?
He did. Yes, he did.
You just went Canadian real quick?
Possibly. I am part French Canadian, so
Oh, I'm
it's
so
in
sorry.
it's in me. It comes out every once in a while.
Ugh. Sacre bleu.
What do you got? How many beer breaks you got?
I will give this an 8.7.
Really? That high?
Yeah.
Out of 32 or 10?
out of 10.
Okay.
Beer breaks. I thoroughly enjoy this.
You thoroughly enjoy
This is
it?
very
Yeah.
clever. On the back of the can, it says the Big Dippa.
The Big Dipper.
I'll give it a 6.
I'm genuinely
You know what? No,
surprised.
I'm going to give it a 5. Again, this is just another
Wow.
beer like I wouldn't buy, but I would enjoy if you gave it to me, which you are giving to me now. So
I
I'm
can
enjoying
sip
it now.
this all day.
Yeah,
I'll be
definitely.
passed out in a few hours.
Do
but,
it
like,
right now.
it's
Passed
nice.
out at the end of this episode, that's for sure. Okay. So let's talk about some bad people. We got the James Charles situation. Have you
Mhm.
guys understood this? Do you know what's going on?
Yes.
All right.
But I would like you to explain it.
I will definitely explain it for you. So James Charles, beauty influencer, YouTuber, massive creator.
Duty influencer?
Huh?
Duty influencer?
I said beauty.
Oh.
I too heard duty.
I
So
mean, it's his duty
does
to
he have
inform
duty?
us on beauty.
Is he duty free beauty?
Sure.
All right.
All right.
Let him rock.
So he got accused of messaging underage men. For those of you who don't know, James Charles is gay. He's a male who does makeup. And
I'd like to point out you just did the Fox News thing.
what's that?
On Fox News, whenever there is somebody who is a conservative and they're accused of having relations with underage girls,
Uh-huh.
they say young women or underage women. No. He's talking to boys, not young men.
Sorry. You're right. But James Charles assumed, or I guess James Charles asked this kid what his age was. The kid said he was 18, allegedly. And James Charles and him started flirting back and forth. I guess they matched on Instagram or whatever, connect on social medias,
Mhm.
Snapchatted back and forth. And then James Charles was flirting, sending nudes, sending other provocative Instagram, then decided like, oh, something seems fishy. From what he says, he asked the kid the age again. The kid said he was actually 16. James Charles said he was uncomfortable and said to stop. The kid alleges actually James Charles knew I was 16 the whole time, never asked for my age. And I was the one to tell him I felt uncomfortable with this.
Mhm.
And he is the predator in this situation, I guess. So I'm not sure what to believe.
Well, what are the text messages?
There's no like messages back and forth.
Mhm.
Like this is an ongoing situation. It's
Well,
more of a
I'm
like,
going to assume whoever releases their text messages are the ones in the right.
well, it's also Snapchat, right? So unless you saved it,
Yes, yeah.
but he did say the young boy is going to the police and will be filing charges. So I assume that those will come out
yeah.
in the coming months or weeks.
That is sketchy though, because this guy probably has money, so it could be whatever, but also you should listen to people when they are going through sexual
Jason, how
assault
old is
or-
James Charles?
I'm going to say 23.
21.
21. I'll be honest, this was like one of my greatest fears when I turned 18 was like that I would accidentally because we're all pretty young looking. Well, maybe not Jason. He looks like shit.
Wow. Okay.
You look like a dashing salt and pepper man.
Thank you.
I looked at you. I was like, I'm going to insult Jason for no reason. You look great. You look great.
Oh, geez.
We love that you're here. No, but we're all pretty young. But like my greatest fear was always like talking to somebody that was like younger than I knew, you know what I mean? Like I would find out like I'm a sophomore in college and found out like this person's in high school. That was always my greatest fear.
No, I completely understand because as mentioned before, one of my greatest fears is bears.
Okay. All right. But
please continue.
I was just saying like, I can understand if the situation goes down as James Charles described, right? And he just matched with this boy that he thought was cute and they started flirting and then found out later that he was 16, right? I can understand. The thing is, like James Charles has been in this situation allegedly before where he's talked to younger boys before and been accused of what is called grooming, where you talk to younger men, boys, sorry, Justin, and try to groom them. So that way, when they do turn a legal age, they're infatuated with you and they have a relationship with you.
Yep. I've seen the R. Kelly stuff.
Yeah. Same stuff. So he should know better. It's an ongoing situation. We'll have to see what's going on. But I mean, like, there's no excuse for talking to underage people.
Well, I mean, as long as you're not like doing it explicitly. And by explicitly, I mean like showing you dicky.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. Yeah. So I hope he's not a kind of person to try just to groom. But like, you should definitely hear the victim out. The other boy in the situation, if he's telling the truth, you know, you hope James Charles face consequences for his actions. Yeah, like
because if there was nothing wrong in the situation and it was complete misunderstanding from James's point of view, then you just got to have the facts to back it up. If you don't, or if it's so sketchy that like you make it look sketchy, then it's one of those situations where you're rich and famous. Get the receipts, like. If you want to protect your stuff, don't be all sketchy like that, or else it looks like you're hiding something.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a cue to everyone. Like, be careful who you talk to. Like, if you're
don't talk to anyone. Get a bunker. Hide in your house. Like, Diablo 4 will come out soon.
Wasn't that? Never mind. I'll just move. Like,
no. What were you about to say?
I was going to ask about the Big Ben situation, right? Because wasn't that Big Ben met a girl at the bar and assumed she was 21, but she was actually 16?
No. The misconception with that is it was Big Ben is the bell inside the tower in London. It's not the actual tower.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure Big Ben was rape, not anything to do with a minor.
He raped a woman.
I think he just honestly paid her off.
Okay.
That's why you don't really hear about it
anymore. I thought it was...
But God forbid if he smoked the weed.
Then he's done.
Yeah, then he's done in the NFL.
Yeah. Terrible situation. You know what I mean? I don't like... Yeah, if you're talking to young boys, you shouldn't be talking to young boys. Don't. I hope you face consequences.
Unless you are a young boy.
No,
if you're a young boy, you can talk to another young boy.
Like Justin said, don't talk to anyone.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, Diablo 4 is coming out.
Well, another one facing sexual assault allegations, Governor Cuomo of New York. At least 3 women have come forward saying that he used unwanted sexual advances. One woman described that he touched her back at a party. She was wearing like what's the thing when you don't have a
backless
back?
Dress.
A backless dress. Thank you.
When you lack a back, it's a backless.
You really couldn't think of that word?
Listen, man, I'm not good at this. Okay.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
No, you're not.
But had a backless dress. He kind of like touched the lower part of her back just before, very low. I'm Jason. Like that.
Whoa.
Why are you rubbing my kidney?
Oh, sorry.
Did you just pee a little?
Yeah. So touched the back of her dress and then like was constantly pushing forward, like grabbed her face and kind of tried to like kiss her. There's actually a photo of this happening. And then 3 other women came forward. He apologized for, I guess he has a habit of saying very sexually or inappropriate jokes at work. And he was like, oh, I thought they were funny, but I realize now. So there's not really much words on like what he thinks of the situation, but he's turning over documents.
It's completely understandable. I have a habit of whenever I go to someone's house and they have a toilet that has the tub on top, I always leave an upper decker. It's a horrible habit, but I always apologize for it.
At least you apologize.
Jason, can you explain what an upper decker is in terms of...
Oh, yes. Yeah. So what happens on upper decker, you take the top part of the tank off and exposing, all the mechanisms in it that help it flush. And you proceed to take a shit in it and then put the top back on.
Yes. Because
each flush, it's basically just poop water.
And it slowly goes back into the toilet.
I'm just happy you apologize for it. It took 6 years.
It's just a bad habit, Like I can't stop it. So, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Well, you said sorry, so I have to forgive you.
Yeah.
It caused me great distress and physical trauma.
Yeah. And luckily, you have multiple toilets in the house. Yeah, and I can hit each one.
I mean, like, if these accusations are true, and you should definitely take every accusation seriously and investigate it. He should face consequences again. Like, this is another situation where maybe it's a misunderstanding, but it seems very unlikely.
But I mean, if it's anything like all these toilets that I visit and also his other policies, they're probably full of shit.
All right. Do you want to talk about someone else that is full of shit?
You know what? I'll allow it.
All right. Well, we're going to shit on Joseph Biden. Let's do it. We're here.
Gasp.
I think for some of our conservative listeners, we kind of shit on Trump. Now we're going to shit on Biden.
I want to shit on everyone.
Let's do it.
And in their upper decker toilets.
Oh, my God. Well, before we shit on him, let's talk about something that he said is going to happen. Hopefully. I don't know. He's been lying a lot recently. Going back on his claims. Okay, so Biden is saying that once the Johnson & Johnson and the Merck & Company approved by the FDA for the vaccines goes through, it has gone through. What is going to happen is every single adult will have a vaccine by the end of May. That's what he's saying. But he has been lying recently. So take that with a grain of salt.
When is it going to be, Bender? Or Jason?
End of May.
It's going to be May.
That would be awesome, though. Like, if we do end up getting like vaccines by the end of May and we're all set. Although it doesn't help that the governor from Texas has said that he is withdrawing all COVID regulations and removing the mask mandate and doesn't give a shit anymore.
Well, that's Texas. It's just like Florida. What do you expect?
Aren't they? Don't they still not have power?
You don't understand, John. They're going through a winter storm, which means he's going to make sure everyone gets infected with the COVID.
So that way they have to stay home.
No, not just they stay home. They're going to have fever. So then they stay warm.
Smart.
See? Everything's smarter in Texas.
Okay. All right. I see where he's coming from.
Oh, yeah. He's a genius. Big brain.
All right. Let's shit on Biden for a little bit.
I'm always down to shit on Biden.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. So he authorized a military strike in Syria. He claims it was in self-defense, but a lot of people have made the argument it wouldn't need to be in self-defense if you went through with your campaign promise of getting troops out of the Middle East. And
John, I do have a question because I believe you mistyped Biden here because he ran on trying to get rid of this. I thought you meant Trump, and this was an old article.
I mean, some people have been making those comparisons between Trump and Biden because Biden's press secretary, I forget her name. Do you want to look up her name, Jason?
Yes.
She tweeted back in 2017, basically, how dare you, Trump? Like, who gives you the authority to make these unwanted attacks on sovereign country? And now that Biden's doing it, it's, I speak for the president kind of situation,
Well, it's a good thing that it was voted on because Biden he was blocked from doing any
student loan forgiveness.
So
he didn't want to overreach his power.
Yeah, you're not going to overreach your power. You're not going to use like an executive action.
It is good that he voted. Oh wait, he didn't vote on it. He just did it. What? He overreached with federal.
There was no vote. Wait, how did he do it then?
He just went. I'm gonna push this button right here. I'm gonna bomb the shit out of that country.
So he's cool with taking lives, but he's not cool with helping lives of the American citizens.
Basically, yeah.
So if it's away from us and it's beneficial to a select group of people who are oil barons and all that, because if you don't affect the controlling class, it's okay to do whatever you want. But if it affects the poors of the world,
who cares?
99.99% of this country, it's oh, God, he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, I mean, look, Biden is not doing a good job so far. He went against that campaign promise. He basically gave up on student loan forgiveness, something he campaign promised again.
He's basically not just reaching across the aisle to the Republicans. He's reaching across the aisle and firmly jerking off every single one.
Descriptive.
To give them whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, this is why, like, I didn't understand the like this. Oh, Biden's gonna bring socialism. No, he isn't. No, he's not. He's gonna be exactly what you want him to be.
He's pretty on par for the course so far.
He's the exact same as Trump. He just doesn't say it. He doesn't tweet mean things. Like, that's basically what it is. Like, I saw someone, I forget who said it, but someone was like, he's basically Trump, except after he bombed the country, he didn't call it a shithole country. Yeah, that's pretty much what he is. Like, he's the same thing. Like, I don't think either one of us are excited. I mean, Jason doesn't care, right? He was voting Libertarian no matter what.
Yeah, because both were fucking jokes.
And he's not wrong, but neither of us are excited. All three of us aren't excited about a Biden presidency.
There was a lot that Biden was running on that seemed very good. The green, all his green related things, all of the other shit. If he doesn't do any of it, then I take the entire Democratic Party as a joke.
I think I take most of the Democratic Party. Anyone going along with him. I mean, most of the Democrats have condemned Biden's actions. The Republicans have been like, hey, good job. So that should tell you what he's kind of doing.
This is also the problem with them relying on a guy who's so old that he's probably not going to run for another term. So he's like, what do I care? I'm done after this.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of doing whatever. Yeah. You're right. He's probably not running again after this.
Is it a war crime, what he did to Syria?
Some people have alleged that it is, because you do need, like, you need to have had something happened to you in order for you to bomb a sovereign country. America has this very flimsy argument where there was an attack on U.S. troops, but some people have made the argument that the attack on U.S. troops wouldn't have happened if we didn't invade that country in the first place. So
makes sense. Was there like an abundance of lipids, like a lot of hydrocarbons being at risk?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, defend that oil.
Let's also talk about something that Biden also did during his campaign. He criticized Trump heavily for the murder of Khashoggi. He was the unreleased episode. I did a huge deep dive on that. No, wait, I didn't do Khashoggi. I did another one. Sorry.
Hot take.
But the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, he was of Saudi Arabia. He basically came out this week. It was like, yeah, we killed him. He is an American citizen. He's a journalist. He's highly critical of the royal family in Saudi Arabia. Okay. So they killed him to basically silence him. I think everyone kind of remembers the situation where they carried his body out in different, like, suitcases and bags and stuff like that.
There was video evidence of it all. Yeah,
it was. He went in, didn't come out, and everyone was like, "Oh, he came out in those bags."
And they're just gonna say that they did it because they don't care anymore.
Yeah, so
they know Biden's not gonna do shit.
Biden very critical of Trump, basically saying you have to hold these people accountable. Like, you can't let them walk all over the United States. You can't let them kill a U.S. citizen. Finds out, basically comes out, says this happened, and he says, "Well, we're not going to do anything. We're going to do behind the scenes stuff." What does that mean? What do you mean?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Biden
thank you, Jason.
is literally one step away from saying exactly what Trump did with saying there's good people on both sides. He's literally saying it in a different way without his inaction.
He's basically just as bad. Like, his actions are almost the same. He's just not tweeting as much. That's basically what you gave up. Yeah. Like,
I mean, the party behind him, the beliefs that they had going into this administration were on the side of better than the other one. But unless they do anything about it, then they're no better than what was before.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Justin. So I think
we just got to give them some time. I think they have 4 years, 2 years realistically.
Yeah. If you're a Trump supporter, your policies are basically being continued. Like, there hasn't been much change from the previous administration to this one.
We do have communism now. And by that, we're still bombing other countries. No citizens are getting help during a global pandemic. And probably other things that are issues.
Yeah. I mean, look, politics is a whole other thing, but
it doesn't matter who's in the house. Nobody gives a shit about regular people.
What if it's the mouse?
We care about regular people.
The mouse gives more shits about capitalism than anyone else. But they'll also give me Disney Plus. Oh, they raised the price of it. God damn it.
They did raise the price of it.
Mickey.
Do we want to talk about the last episode of WandaVision or no?
I do not. We can talk about that off screen. I want to do a after the show ends. We'll give a spoiler warning, and then we'll talk all about the show, and then I want to see where it goes from the continuation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay. I just want to say I'm excited for it, Jason. And you, I
am caught up. So
we can talk about it. We can talk about it off air. Okay.
So just a heads up, there is a
It's exciting. It's a really good show. So Disney, at least they're giving us good content.
Let's go. Happy on how good it was.
Yeah.
Like,
are you going to be
different enough where I'm excited for the content?
I mean, I think everyone in the world right now is watching WandaVision, unless you're not an MCU fan, which is fine.
But even if you're not, you can get into it.
Yeah, it's very good. Are you going to be disappointed when it goes over to Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is a more typical MCU style film where it's... You don't think so?
I like those two actors individually, so I'm going to have fun with it regardless.
Okay. Jason, are you...
Very on the fence about it.
You're on the fence?
I always have been.
The original order was supposed to be Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so something like we're kind of comfortable with the hand-to-hand style combat, kind of... Then the kind of weirdness of WandaVision, and then goes into Loki, which deals with time travel. But now we're doing WandaVision, something we're familiar with, and then time travel. Maybe it's gonna be a little.
I'm cool with the sandwiching of grounded reality in between the magic and the.
I'm sure it'll be great regardless. You're right. So they haven't really disappointed yet, so it's gonna be exciting.
I have yet to find a Marvel movie that I'm like upset about.
Same, yeah.
Like even the worst ones were good in my mind.
Inhumans.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah, that's fair. It's terrible.
Yeah, you don't talk about that show.
But I would like to talk about how recently the Charlotte Hornets and the
No, you're gonna name them.
No, where's Carmelo Anthony?
No, I want you to do it.
And the team that Carmelo Anthony is it the Portland Trailblazers?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, he's with
I
Dame.
knew you could do it.
Dollar. Oh.
They swapped jerseys.
Well, yeah, they swapped jersey. LaMelo Ball and Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony is known as Melo.
Yeah.
And kind of he's on his way out. He's old.
Mm-hmm.
He's like LeBron James old. Literally.
They came in the same draft class. Yeah.
He
is 36.
The man is old in NBA years.
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
it's
80.
Just frightening.
So they played against each other. And they had, it wasn't a game for the ages, but they both had pretty good games. And it's just funny seeing the new age coming against the old school, like our version of old school, because we were kids when Carmelo Anthony started and lost Rookie of the Year. But it's just cool. Now my question to you guys is the debate now is LaMelo Ball allowed to call himself Melo? Even though that's literally his name, I guess that's an issue to some people, some purists who are Carmelo Anthony fans. It's like, it's his name. Do you feel weird about hearing somebody else called Melo?
That's a good point. Jason, how do you go first?
It is very strange to hear, but then again, at like the same time, it's also kind of like how you said, like Carmelo Anthony is towards the end part of his career. He might play another 4 years, who knows? But he's like towards the back half of his career. And LaMelo Ball he literally was drafted this year. So he's on the come up. He's a rookie. So it's kind of like he's just like passing the name Melo. Like, here you go. You were the Melo of this generation when he was the Melo of, the past.
Yeah.
I don't think it will ever catch on. Like I think
I call him Melo. Like,
you call him Melo?
Everybody calls LaMelo Melo.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was more thinking because like I know like A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, when he was big, he was always known as A-Rod, and like it's a different sport. But Aaron Rodgers, everyone tried to call him A-Rod, and it didn't really catch it. It didn't fit.
But I bet if there was somebody else who came in baseball, like nowadays, who probably could get the nickname A-Rod.
I don't know. I always felt like it stuck with Alex Rodriguez. That always felt synonymous with him. Maybe because Melo never won like a championship or anything like that. Maybe that would be the reason.
Can you say that one more time?
Melo never won a championship.
Wait, not even with the
New York Knicks
Nuggets when he was at his peak.
He was pretty good with the Knicks for a little bit.
He peaked with the Nuggets. That's when he was filthy Melo.
No, I would probably say his peak was with the Knicks.
You would.
Like the 2011, 2012, the last time they made the playoffs. That's when he was like prime Melo fucking shit up, scoring title winning Carmelo Anthony.
But like because he never hit those like greats, like A-Rod was a champion for the Yankees. You know what I mean? Like
they paid him too much money not to be.
Yeah, like it's a little different because Carmelo never won a chip, so maybe that's the problem.
Great stats though, a very
good player.
Scorer.
Yeah,
he'll definitely hit the Hall of Fame without a doubt.
You think so?
Yeah. Like his stats are ridiculous.
Jason got really offended when I just asked. It was just like a simple question. It was like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Yeah, don't fucking question it." All right.
I love talking shit about Carmelo Anthony, but I can't deny that he wasn't a great player.
No, he was a great player. I mean, definitely.
He's definitely declining in later years, but he can still put up and he can still have a good night. Like he's still a great player. Good player.
All right. You guys got any other stories you want to bring to the table or no? Any other hot takes you to bring? Like Justin saying cheerleaders get out of here. You're not a sport kind of thing, Justin.
Melo's going to win Rookie of the Year.
I don't think it's a hot take. Pretty sure a lot of people say that.
No. Carmelo Anthony's going to win.
That'd be interesting.
I instantly went to Carmelo Anthony. I was like, you're a few years off on that one. Well, so it's not going to catch on.
No,
hot take. It won't catch.
All right. We'll see in a few. Once he retires, then we'll see how it goes.
That's fair.
And also he's with Dame, so like he's not.
I mean, no one else is going to be called MJ. Like no one. Like, right? Like when you think of MJ,
well, Michael Jackson was considered MJ.
Yeah, but like that never caught on to the extent that Michael Jordan.
Are you kidding?
You don't think so? You don't think so?
Michael Jordan had so many other nicknames too that I think MJ caught on with Michael Jackson because
I think Michael Jordan, like when you say MJ, everyone thinks of Michael Jordan. First.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Maybe I'm in the
if you're going to have
minority on this
somebody like at the height of their career for their respective thing, MJ for both of those two, both of them were at the peak of their respective fields.
Look, I just always think of like when you go like Michael, like or like I'll think of Michael Jackson. Like that's the weird thing.
Michael
B.
Jordan.
But like when it's MJ, like I think of Michael Jordan. No, I think of Jordan.
How many number one hits does Michael Jordan have?
All of them.
0.
There we go. I think MJ.
How many NBA championships does Michael Jackson have?
Many. How many?
We could go back on this the whole time.
I'll do this all night. How many Men in Black movies has Michael Jordan been in?
Are you still rocking the Michael Jackson shoes or no?
I don't actually own any Jordan shoes either.
You don't? I thought you bought Jordans recently.
No.
You're waiting for them to drop, right?
No, I bought the Dame 7s. The Ric Flair versions.
See, I own Jordans, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, can you listen to them?
Huh?
Can you listen to them?
Yeah. When you screech across the floor and you hear that little like rubber against the ground sound, you know, like when you're in a basketball court, you can listen to that.
You're never on a basketball court, John.
I watch
just
sometimes.
about every shoe does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sound is not specific to Jordans.
My classic
and
Puma.
singing's I can't. I'm done.
Yeah, that's a podcast.
Thanks for drinking with us. Find us at Hot Takes and Beer Breaks on social media and wherever you get your podcasts. Cheers.
Adios.
Bye.